Hey everybody, welcome to the Magic Weekly News Update on the Mana Leak for June 4th, 2017. It wasn't that big of a news week, to be honest. We've only got a few things to talk about, so let's jump on in. Up first, there were a lot of questions about the card print quality in Amonkhet, and this has been around for quite some time, especially this specific problem, but this is the first time that I've seen such a good pictorial representation of the issue. The first time that I remember noticing this, I believe, was Shadows over Innistrad. It might have been Eldritch Moon. It was one of those two sets, but a lot of cards are faded. They actually appear to simply not have a final black layer. Oftentimes, the set symbol and the numbers are actually gray as opposed to black. But with Amonkhet, we've actually seen some cards where there's like an extra black layer and the cards are extra dark. And somebody on Reddit posted a great picture of 3 pouncing cheetahs, and all of them look extremely different. The one on the far left is the sort of missing black layer, although it doesn't have the gray numbers like I remember seeing in Eldritch Moon or Shadows or whichever set it was that I first noticed it. But you can see the cat so clearly. The middle one is what I imagine is probably the normal card, but I'm not sure which one of these is supposed to be normal. And the one on the far right, of course, the cat is super shadowed, just covered in shadow. Everything's a lot darker. The text is even darker. Everything looks bold. Yeah, this is an issue that's been around for a while. I'm not sure what's going on with the printers, but they definitely seem to be putting out less consistent quality cards. The card quality varies card to card, pack to pack. I'm hoping this does get addressed at some point. Wizards has not said a word, which I think is actually probably good. That probably means that they are actively investigating it and they don't want to, they don't want to speak before they're done. And yes, rah, 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 how dare they not tell us exactly what they're doing and thinking and giving us a 12-point plan of their thing. They're a company. They don't tell you every single thing. They tell us way more than most companies interact with their fans and their customers. Relax. I'm sure they're looking into it. Don't stop bringing it up. Absolutely bring it up. Send your feedback, tweet, etc. But don't get angry. Don't get abusive. Don't be a dick. Up next is something that Mark Rosewater talked about on the Blogatog this week, and that is the concept of a vanilla mythic. Quite a while ago, I want to say back around Theros, somebody sent in something to the Blogatog and said, "Hey Mark Rosewater, I think that you cannot print a vanilla mythic." And Mark Rosewater responded saying, "We've already designed one. I don't know when it's going to be printed, but we've got one." Now, what does this mean? Vanilla is any creature that has no abilities. Think of a yoked ox. Think of those who serve. The cards that have a casting cost, a name, a type. If they're a creature, they have a power and toughness, and that's all they have. Generally, these are commons. Sometimes they're uncommons. If we have a 4/4 for 4, they sometimes are uncommon because that's kind of the level where that's pretty good. Rarely, they are rare, like Isamuro, Hound of Konda, or Visidrex, but never ever have they been mythic. This week, Mark Rosewater said, it's finally happening. This year, we will be getting a vanilla mythic. That means that it is either coming very imminently in Hour of Devastation, or it could be in Ixalan, or it could be in Commander 2017, which is probably a little bit of a cheat because, of course, they can say, oh, this is mythic. The mythic rarity doesn't matter in the Commander set, but I could see that being where it actually does get printed. Along that same line, it could be in the Archenemy Nicol Bolas set coming out soon. What's it going to be? I have no idea. My best guess is that it's going to be a really undercosted creature, so it's going to be like 3 mana, 4 mana, 6/6, or 7/7 or something, but the mana will be several different colors, I would bet. Anyways, I hope it's decent, or I hope that it isn't one of those supplemental products, because if it is just kind of like a 6/6 for 6, or even a 6/6 for 5, it's going to kind of suck to open that in a pack as your mythic rare. The final bit of news this week, of course, is the big news, and that is we have 3 cards from Hour of Devastation really, really early, and these are technically leaks, but they came direct from Wizards. The French version of the standard showdown page, for some reason, showed us 3 cards from Hour of Devastation. Up first, we have Bontu's Last Reckoning, which is 1 black for a sorcery at rare. It says destroy all creatures for 3 mana. However, lands you control don't untap during their next untap step. I think this is quite good. The internet very rapidly said, this is horrible. You have to, play this on turn 3 and then take your next turn off. You don't have to play this on turn 3. It costs 3 mana. You don't have to play it on turn 3. And in fact, in many decks, you'd be playing this on turn 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, late in the game to blow everything up. And yes, 3 of your mana is going to be unusable, but you have the rest for that turn. You can pass the turn with that mana up, use it next turn. I think this is a solid card. I think it's a really good Wrath. Sure, it's not Wrath of God, but we're never getting Wrath of God ever again in a standard set. We got to look at a new Planeswalker, Samut the Tested. Turns out that she became a Planeswalker. This was sort of semi-spoiled in the Minecraft skin pack reveal trailer that came out last weekend, I believe, where it did in fact say that that mysterious Amonkhet-looking person was Samut. It was not Jeru. And yeah, Samut passed the trials, and she didn't just die, she became a Planeswalker. Planeswalker Samut, 2 red-green for a Mythic. +1, up to 1 target creature gains double strike until end of turn. It's fine. It's decent. -2, Samut the Tested deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures and or players. Shock on a stick. That's fine too. And for -7, search your library for up to 2 Planeswalker and or creature cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. And she starts with 4 loyalty. Now, of course, hilariously, you could have went and gotten Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian if you wanted to play 4-color Saheeli combo and also not combo off until like turn, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, something ridiculous like that. But of course, with the bans, that's not going to happen anyways. Not that I think that was a real thing that would have happened. But yeah, Samut looks fine. She looks like a solid limited Planeswalker. I don't imagine she's going to see too much standard play. She reminds me, of course, of Arlen Cord and of Domri Raid. Now, Domri Raid did see some standard play, and I think she can see some fringe standard play, kind of tier 2, tier 1.5 decks. But yeah, she seems just like a great pickup for a limited deck. I would slam her down first pick if I ever saw her in a draft. And of course, finally, no surprise to anybody, Nicol Bolas is in this set. Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh is 4 blue, black, red for a Planeswalker Bolas at Mythic. Starts at 7 loyalty, +2, target opponent exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. He's like his own little Aetherworks Marvel, but ripping the card out of your opponent's library instead. +1. He's got 4 abilities. Each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand. Double Karn. Just double Karn effect here. -4, Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh deals 7 damage to target opponent or creature an opponent controls. So you can slap Bolas down and immediately do 7 damage. That's going to finish off some people for sure. Or kill a creature, which seems like the least good way to go about it. -12, his ultimate, exile each non-land permanent your opponent's control. Just wipe the other side of the board. Not yours, but the other side, gone. Nicol Bolas, of course, seems amazing and ridiculously hard to cast. This is going to require that the standard format, slow down and a Grixis control deck come out. If that doesn't happen, Nicol Bolas ain't being cast. Now, Nicol Bolas can be, suddenly put on the battlefield through Aetherworks Marvel if that doesn't see a ban, which I'm not sure if it will or not. I feel like there are enough answers for it. And just a reminder that you do have to be careful about taking Grand Prix or Pro Tour results as indicative of the format. Remember that those people are there to win large amounts of money. And if you have a deck that maybe, if you run lucky, just crushes the field, but also, if you run slightly unlucky, you just scrub out, that's probably the good choice. Whereas if you're playing FNM after FNM after FNM or league after league after league, you want the most consistent deck. You want the deck that's going to have the best win rate over dozens of tournaments, which may or may not be Marvelous Energy. But anyways, that's an interesting topic that I'll probably get into at some point, the difference between the top level metas and the actual metas that you see at stores and smaller tournaments and leagues, etc. But I won't get too into that right now. Nicol Bolas in Limited, it's probably a pipe dream. I'm never not going to first pick it and try it, but I know I'm going to lose pretty often if I do try it. But nothing's stopping me. He looks too good. He looks too fun. I'm going all in. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the news this week. Not too much went on beyond the giant accidental leaks. Let me know what you think of those 3 cards. Let me know what you think of the print quality in Amonkhet. I've heard a lot of stuff about curling of cards. I haven't experienced that at all. All of my Amonkhet cards are fine. So I'm wondering if there's a humidity issue going on elsewhere in the continent or the world, or what's going on there. Let me know what you think the Vanilla Mythic's going to be, and what set it's going to be, where it's going to be, what's it going to be. Let me know in the comments down below. Or if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at the Mana Leek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can find me at facebook.com/themanaleek, twitch.tv/themanaleek, where I'm starting to become more active and not necessarily play Magic. I played some Overwatch last week. I'll be doing some Steam Roulette where I spin a wheel, and that determines what game I'm going to play for the next 30-45 minutes or so. And we're going to do that for a couple of hours. Tons of stuff going on there. And of course, check me out at patreon.com/themanaleek, where you can help this channel out financially. You can work your way towards earning a playmat. You can sponsor a draft, etc. If you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Click that like button. Click subscribe. Otherwise, see you guys all next time.